Now, while Democrats, they were running a smear campaign all day on Capitol Hill, Senator Tim Sheehy, actually asked important questions about the department that Hegseth has been picked to lead. Take a look.
How many genders are there? Tough one.
Senator, there are 2 genders.
I know that well. I'm a Sheehy, so I'm on board. How many rounds of 5.56 can you fit into the magazine of an M4 rifle?
Depends on the magazine, but standard issue is 30, Senator.
And what size round does the M9 Beretta standard issue sidearm for the military fire?
A 9mm, Senator.
What kind of batteries do you put in your night vision goggle?
Duracell.
So right there, you're representing qualifications that show you understand what the warfighter deals with every single day on the battlefield. You understand what happens on the front line, where our troops will be. And what happens, unfortunately, in this country is decisions made in rooms like this, bad decisions, end up in dead 17, 18, 19-year-old Americans. And those Americans rarely come from families that sit in rooms like this.
All right, here with more, Senator Tim Sheehy. You know, Senator, some of the allegations, like drinking, for example, there were numerous people that worked every single week with Pete. The question about drinking was debunked by every single one of them, number one. Number two, knowing him myself for as many years as I have, this man eats, breathes, sleeps, lives military, the men and women in combat every single day. This is his life's passion, his mission. Did he hit a rough road at one point in his life, nearly a decade ago? Sure. He's been upfront, honest. He's moved on. He checked that box. He changed his life. Why wasn't there more substance today?
Well, we all knew it was coming, Sean. This is what they did to Clarence Thomas, what they did to Brett Kavanaugh, they did to me during my election. When they can't argue on policy or substance, when they know that they are wrong with what the American people want, this is what the Democrats do. They resort to smear, anonymous allegations, character assassination, because they know they can't talk about the disgrace of the Afghan withdrawal. They can't talk about the disgraceful state of our military recruitment. We can't build enough ships, can't build enough planes. We haven't won a war in a long time. And our military is spending 3 times more on DEI initiatives now than we were 4 years ago. So they know that on policy, the U.S. Department of Defense is in tatters right now, and therefore they couldn't spend 2 seconds talking about policy, and they decided to smear this young man who's going to do a great job. We support him, and that's why my questions were directed the way they were. I wanted to remind people what this job was really about, and it's supporting the warfighter and protecting America.
It was one of the few moments, along with some other Republicans, of substance, which was desperately needed. You know, they spent so much time on issues involving identity politics and women in combat. Okay, that's a fair issue. And he answered it. They didn't need to go back again and again and again. His answer was, yes, I support women in combat, but the standards have to be the same. You don't lower standards. We had that L.A. firefighter, saying, well, if a guy's stuck in a fire, it's too bad. He's in the wrong place if I have to go pull him out. That's not a good answer.
Well, I made a very wise life decision like Pete did, and I married up. And my wife was a Marine Corps officer. I'm lucky she spends every day with me. And she's a combat veteran of Afghanistan. And she'll be the first one to tell you that not only can she do more pull-ups than I can, but she would never want to be held to a different standard than any other Marine that she served with. And Pete, just like I, have no problem with women in uniform. We need them, and they're great warriors. But we cannot create multiple standards that create a denigration of our ability to fight and win wars. And that is exactly what we've seen under Lloyd Austin and Joe Biden's military, is they've put combat lethality in the backseat, and they've instead decided to do social engineering with our military. The results speak for themselves. Recruiting's at an all-time low. Readiness of our aircraft and ships is at an all-time low. And guess what? We had the greatest military failure in Afghanistan in a generation. So we need a new generation of leaders across the board, but especially in this department. And we need somebody like Pete who's going to be a disruptor. He's going to be a fighter, and he's going to look at things outside the box. We've been thinking inside the box, Sean, for way too long, and look where it's gotten us.
Senator, will he be confirmed?
I believe he will. We haven't obviously voted yet, but I think he's got the support he needs, and he's got my support.
All right, you're doing a great job. I thought you were very substantive today, and we needed it in light of everything else going on in that room. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.